Good day, everyone. This is Mark Schmitz, Superintendent of Schools. I am presenting to you today regarding last night's board agenda. This is the first of a monthly update I will be providing immediately after board meetings to be able to better inform our employees of what discussions or actions took place at the preceding board meeting. On this one, I'm going to take a little time to explain the agenda and go through the items that were discussed or acted upon. The length of these podcasts will likely be between 5 and 7 minutes. Every board meeting begins with a call to order, and that is simply a roll call, determination of a quorum, and pledge of allegiance, and the board adopting the agenda. Immediately following that, we have a school or community forum. This is an opportunity for someone to present to the board an idea or concept they may have, or to share information. One of the protocols for this presentation is that the board chair or the superintendent are notified at least by noon of that day. Last night there was no community forums. Next, the board chair recognizes the public and thanks the public for attending and taking time to show interest in our schools. The next item is what we call a consent agenda. The consent agenda is typically a list of agenda items that are basic, fundamental procedural approvals, and they are all approved at once by the board. If a board member would like to pull any one item out for separate vote consideration, they have that ability to do so. Typically following the consent agenda on our board is a finance items. And our finance report last night typically begins with John Moore presenting the school's investments and the returns of those investments and our cash flow situation. And then from there last night, Bob had our budget revision 3 as well as our unaudited budget to present. And within those, I'll speak to the unaudited budget. Right now our district is looking at a fund balance of approximately 2.9 million, which is a healthy, comfortable fund balance, especially given the forecast of our state budget, being that budget forecast is looking like I think they're saying $4 to $6 billion deficit. Our intent is, or our fund balance cushion can potentially help us ease into future budget cuts or budget situations from the state. We certainly hope we don't have cuts coming up, and those would be mitigated if we can continue to have kindergarten enrollments and other enrollments showing strong numbers. Other financial items came up typically from a finance committee meeting which took place last Friday. Some major items discussed at that meeting were the jobs bill. Our district will be receiving one-time dollars of $300,000. Some of you may have heard about the jobs bill. This is a federal program that was approved a few months ago. The intent of this $300,000 is to use for existing expenses and once again help better buffer and position our district for potential future funding issues from the state. To give people a little bit of perspective on that $300,000, our salary and fringe increases as a district for this year are a little under $300,000. So that would help cushion us on those salary increases for 1 year. The difference is that the salary increases are ongoing and these revenues are one-time dollars. There was an update on the state withholding our payments. Maybe you have heard that last spring. The state can now basically send us IOUs instead of our revenue for our students. They began that last spring to school districts. This year they're beginning it in the fall. That amount for us is going to be approximately $817,000. The board approved the initial proposed levy. It appears that our levy will be decreasing for taxpayers next year. The process for this is that the board approves the proposed levy in September, and they have to do it by September 30th, and they approve the actual levy in December, and that has to be done by the new year. Finally, there was some discussion about school district partnership with the city, Central Lakes College, Lakewood, and National Joint Powers Association to invest in a fiber ring in the community of Staples. The intent of this fiber ring is to help make this community more livable for people as well as more attractive for businesses, namely high-tech businesses, to move into our community and region. There is much work and discussion that needs to take place on this. This has been a discussion amongst these three entities for probably the last 2.5 years. And you will undoubtedly be hearing more information on that as it develops. Beyond that, our next section in our board meeting or board agenda is last night was personnel. We would like to thank or welcome Carol Webster. Carol Webster will be a middle school special ed teacher assistant. Carol is a long-term sub for Letha Flickinger. We would also like to welcome David Odden. David will be contracting with, David is assigned to be maintaining and cleaning the freshwater building, and we are contracting with them for that. And we would also like to congratulate Eva Joy Lund. The board approved her letter of retirement last night. Eva, thank you for your many years of service and dedication to the children of our school. Next item on the agenda was a policy revision approvals. We had a laundry list of fundamental updates that the school board gets from the State School Board Association. There's no major changes in them, and the board just approved all of the policies in one motion. The final item last night was a variety of reports given by principals, middle school dean of students, the AD, and buildings and grounds supervisor. And I won't get into each of those at this point, just as time is running out at this point. Upcoming work session is October 4th. That's the next regularly scheduled meeting for the board agenda. The October 4th work session for the board will be to review our students' NWEA data as well as MCA data, and looking at the goals that have been set by our staff and district staff development committees. With that, I hope you find these podcasts informative, and have a great week, everyone.